introduce these two players. In the lower left position, we do have the Red Terran, the MSL champion. It is FORGG. And now his opponent. In the top right, we do have the Blue Terran. It is FUZER. Now, of course, if you don't want to utilize luck or speed, you could go for Hellbats.
You could, and that would be pretty much a surefire win. Nick, hit M on your keyboard just for a second, guys. We're going to take a quick look at the APM tab in the top left-hand corner. One of these players is Korean. I'm not going to tell you which. You're going to have to guess.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess it's the one who I saw just spike to
450.
I saw 500 for a second.
How is it like I can't even spam that fast half the time? That is insane. My
only logical explanation is that there's one keyboard on the desk and another one that they control with their toes. That's the only... I don't even think I could spam with my hands and feet that quickly on a keyboard.
That's actually incredible. But guys, of course, we're just joking around. APM isn't everything. And FUZER did just take out TLO 2-0. And for those of you that are watching, or maybe some skeptics that are going, oh yeah, it was just two Raxes. I have it from FUZER himself. It was not two Raxes. Amusingly enough, he did actually do one, and he managed to beat TLO with a 2-Rax in his first map. The second map, however, was Star Station. I was told it was an epic 30-minute base race where TLO went for a 2-base roach drop. So FUZER is definitely at this stage of the tournament on merit.
Now, I'm going to just cut in. My question on Twitter was, when is FORGG's birthday? And do you know why I chose that question?
Is it because it's every day?
No. It's because it's today.
Ah, very clever. I see what you did there, man.
Although, actually, it may be yesterday for him, time zone-wise.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. He's still playing at like 6 in the morning the day after his birthday, poor guy. Does that mean he didn't like go out drinking on the night of his birthday? Or does that mean he's currently playing drunk, which explains the APM?
I reckon that's the only answer. But that is clearly the only explanation. But let's get back to this game. So far, we see a Reaper for each player. We see one gas for each player. The command center on its way down, though, for GG. And yeah, what we have at the moment is a factory on its way out for FUZER. And apparently, FORGG is in Paris in the Millennium House, so it's not actually tomorrow yet for him.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Oh, excellent. So it is definitely still his birthday. And frankly, if he's at the Millennium House, that also means a reasonable amount of drinking would probably have been involved. But we can't get confirmation of that until we know absolutely for certain. So the factory has finished up now for FUZER, and the reactor is going to complete on that barracks in just a moment. Could we be seeing some Widowmine play out of him? In the meantime, the expansion's halfway done for FORGG, and he's getting his second and third barracks.
Now, both players getting their expansions down. That's the important thing. Stim on its way out for GG at the moment. The Reaper for FUZER still managing to chip around. Is about to die. They're trying to get the SCV. Doesn't manage it quite. That is one lucky SCV with just 5 health. But if he managed to delay that command zone, it would have been good. But clearly, this TVT is going to be that close.
Yeah, and we've got an earlier orbital command for FORGG here, but do bear in mind that FUZER has actually put his command center on the low ground. That buys him an extra couple of seconds. FORGG will still be able to use those mules sooner, so he has a small economic advantage from that, but he will still have to float the command center down to the natural before he starts producing SCVs.
Indeed, you are correct. So, I'm just looking at this units tab. We've got quite a few Marauders out already for FORGG. Meanwhile, FUZER, he's just focusing on getting those Hellions at the moment. Getting the Armory as well, so maybe going for some Hellbat-style play. Meanwhile, the Reaper for FUZER is still going to be able to sneak in. Not going to be able to do much, though. Those poor little pistols have been nerfed so hard, but does still get a good read on what his opponent is doing.
Seriously, man, Reapers are like the saddest unit in Heart of the Swarm, because not only has their damage been nerfed to the point where they're almost irrelevant, but they also heal as well, so they have to live longer with the knowledge that they can't actually make a useful contribution in as far as damage goes. It's pretty sad. That's why they're on drugs all the time, man. That's my theory.
That's why it's the only possible reason that they would want to. It's kind of like going from being a Spitfire, like you did a decent amount of damage and you could chug along and then...
Or that, or maybe it's actually the other way round. And because he's on drugs so much, his aim is off, which is why he does less damage.
Mind blown.
We'll find out. I'm sure that's a question that someone's going to ask Dustin Browder at some point soon, no doubt. We have got a Hellbat drop popping in, though, from FUZER towards the main base of FORGG. Now, there are a number of units already in place for him. He's got 2 Marauders and 3 Marines, but he can just boost over that supply depot wall, and those units are a little bit out of position here. The rest of the army, though, is coming in straight away, and look at this. This is what happens when you react very quickly to a Hellbat drop. FUZER has killed 2 workers and lost a medevac and 4 Hellbats. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how to defend.
That was brilliant. And it may have something, I must say, to do with the fact that currently FORGG is sitting at just under 380 average APM this game. That is how insanely quick he's playing. And to be honest, he just dealt with that perfectly. He took half the losses of his opponent, and I don't actually, but only 2 workers have been killed this entire game. That is pretty sick.
It really is, and I mean, that was just, oh, look at this fantastic positioning as well for FORGG as well. A follow-up Hellbat drop gets completely and utterly denied, stimming a few Marines into the path of that medevac to try and stop them as well, but dropping the Hellbats means that these Marines will have to pull back.
Those poor Marines, they were just trying to do their job, and one of them died for it, the other critically injured. But as we're seeing now, we've got FUZER in a bit of trouble. The Marauders are doing some very nice damage. The Hellbat's dropping on top of the infantry though, and the stutter step micro, while brilliant, I'm just not sure it'll be enough. A good pickup of the Hellbats trying to boost on top, allowing them to get in there quicker, because of course Hellbat's immobile, but with a boosted medevac, very, very fast.
Really nice use there of the boost function on the medevac from FUZER to try and defend against that. Also note that at the beginning of that engagement, FORGG did not have combat shield, but by the end of it, he did. It occurred about 5 to 6 seconds.
Look at this, the Hellbat!
Another Hellbat drop!
Oh my goodness! That was so good by FUZER.
Okay, Hellbats are pretty good. I mean, we knew it before, but FUZER really showing us what medevacs and Hellbats are made of here. They're even fighting against the Marauders now, doing a very good job. Only 2 Marauders left here from FORGG, and all the APM in the world is not going to prevent these guys from going down. Great pickup micro from FUZER, and the supplies are effectively even on about 60 each, 40 to 39 STVs.
That was brilliant. I'm sorry, that pickup and drop micro with those Hellbats was exceptional. Yes, Hellbats are strong, but if you use them perfectly, as FUZER just got pretty close to, then they are brilliant. And now he's giving up for another drop.
That's also a great example of, don't forget guys, that was the person with half the average APM of the red player, and he just microed that to perfection. So it's not the quantity of the APM, it's how you use it, or at least that's what the ladies tell me.
Well, meanwhile, we do have FORGG pushing in yet again with more infantry, but more Hellbat drops are going down. And with this, we see that actually the medevac does get taken out. A lot of SCVs are dying. FORGG with an amazing arc there. 1 tank for FUZER. Meanwhile, a Hellbat drop in the main base of FORGG, but I don't think it's going to be able to do enough quickly enough. And, well, this was a pretty close engagement, but FORGG, I think, came out on top, having destroyed most of the natural base.
Oh, and unfortunate. This is a little bit unfortunate for FUZER on the grounds that had he not sent out that follow-up Hellbat drop, GG. FORGG takes game 1, but had FUZER not sent out that follow-up Hellbat drop, I think